Morning. This morning, Mr. Geoffrey Kennett, who is the ex-Premier of Victoria, for those who don't know, was on Tom Elliott, 3AW, talking about the importance on how Jeff, with all the respect in the world to Jeff Kennett, he must have like flashbacks to his halcyon days, like writing out plans. If I was Premier, this is what I... But he's not wrong. Like, in the sense that, I don't know how you could not see. You either have to just believe that, there's an infinite well of money, and righto, we go down the path of socialism, so be it. And I've only recently learnt there's apparently two types of socialism, a Marxist and a so there's basically the racist socialists, and then there's the socialists as in like the lefty socialists, where the government should just be able to provide for everybody. I just believe this. I'll do a Jeff Kennett for a quick second. Let this ex-heroin addict, homeless, petty criminal, X and X, give you my Jeff Kennett. Hey, don't you, it's the right of middle-aged men, okay? It's what middle-aged men are allowed to do this, okay? So don't you complain. Gee. Anyway, let me just give you my quick take. Loosely, it would involve, not all, don't worry, Gina Rideharts and the wealthy people who back all the political parties, be it Liberal, Labor, Greens, they've all got some form of backing, but the two main ones have definitely got backing from the very wealthy people in this country. So, not all the resources, don't stress those people, but realistically, in the world we've created for ourselves, we've allowed year on year inflation. Politicians have allowed for a situation where the single biggest vote grabber you could do across the broad range of demographics is by increasing house prices. Great, yes, doesn't matter if I vote Liberal or Labor, my house price has gone up. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm now worth $1 million. Yesterday I was worth $700,000. Great. So that's fine. It is what it is, right? But what's happened is the wages have not kept up. And you've now got a situation where, for example, once you could earn $16,000 a year, like I was, and foolishly, whatever, I missed my opportunity, I could have bought a block of land in a regional similar to Bendigo but in Perth called York for $16,000. So that was 1 year's wage, could have bought me a block of land for 1 year's wage. That was in 1980, that would have been 1989, 1991, somewhere around that. So that's just one little example I know of. There'd be myriad of different examples. That's 1 year's wage. Now you go and buy a regional for 1 year's wage, you've got to be doing very well. You're not just your average they say, the average wage is 100k. Bunkum, mate. The average wage is closer to 70k. You speak to average people without overtimes and whatnot, and they do the math, $30, $35 an hour everywhere. Anyway, so you have this dilemma. Oh no, what are we going to do? Well, I'll tell you, what you need to do, you can't have a situation where basically 50% of the people are paying for the other 50%. A, it's not fair, and B, it just doesn't work. So how else could we maybe address this? Simple. Much like it happens in Norway, you just try and give the people, the indigenous people of the land, some of the resources in the land. Not all of it. Don't worry, the Gina Rineharts and the wealthy can keep it all. It's okay. But you just redo the way that wealth in the ground There's no way in the world you or I or the average person could come close to going, right, I'm going to stake out, and look at this, I just stumbled across a big iron ore deposit, I'm going to stake this out and like make some money. It couldn't happen. But it could happen at a government level, and you could share some of the wealth in the land. It happens in Norway, so it is possible, right? And I think there's other countries that do it. So that's one way of redistributing the wealth and, helping the people of Australia without costing other people. Then that's one aspect. There's one area that needs addressing. Then the other area that needs addressing very quickly is all things organised crime and gang culture. There's no point having these wonderful projects and whatnot. If they're that mismanaged, they're just going to be infiltrated by organised crime, which it's not like this hasn't happened before. I mean, you hear and have heard the most infamous or famous are things like, hey, baby doll, Las Vegas was built on the back of the mob. Hey, Miami, hey, the mob built Miami. So it's not like it hasn't happened before. That all those kind of comments mean is just organised crime infiltrated councils, infiltrated big build projects, infiltrated, government, infiltrated government money, basically. That's all those kind of comments mean. So you have to make sure that doesn't happen, right? You can't be looking at like a CFMEU project and you go, oh my God, bro, that guy just got out after doing 8 years for a massive import. What? And he's running what? A CFMEU? Oh, come on. Oh, hang on a minute. He's employed such and such. Come on. What? And such just got out of jail and he's already working. Seriously? Oh, hang on a minute. That's government money, bro. That's the public's money. You can't be doing that to the average citizen. That is the equivalent. That is the equivalent of organised criminals going and doing a handbag snatch. So now if you saw a little old lady there walking along the street and some criminal just come along and snatched the purse off her, what would you say? But yet you allow it on hectic scale on our government projects. It's exactly the same. You've got organised criminals stealing off mum and dads. It's disgusting. It is abhorrent. It's not disgusting, it's abhorrent. It's filthy. So you can't obviously have that. You have to rectify that. Now, how would you go about changing that? For a start, at the present situation we have about $12 billion a year. $12 billion a year, every single year, going into the hands of organised criminals. Now let's put that in perspective. The annual budget for Victoria Police is $4.5 billion. Now, come on. So how would you solve that? Simply by changing the archaic stance on all things narcotics. Tobacco is a fine example. Tobacco is just what's going on with tobacco, where they tried to prohibit it by making it expensive, is just exactly to the nth degree, to the T, to the O, to the B, to the A, double C and O. It describes how prohibition does not work to a T. We have to readdress that. You have to readdress that so that the money can then be used correctly. At the moment, for the most part, that $12 billion, where does it go in Australia? It goes offshore. Removed. So not only does it not get to build rehabs, education campaigns, help the police, it's a no-brainer and it has to happen. It has to happen for us to genuinely progress. Anyway, there's two very quick ones that would change the game completely. But you know half the problem? Half the problem is we've created a situation. During the 90s, they started this CYA, where basically corporations are just as bad. Basically, it was just more about covering your own ass than any results or anything. And at a government level, now you've got governments who all they care about is getting voted back in. They don't care about genuinely representing what is needed for the people. And then it gets worse though, because what happens is we create this situation where we also reward, if you like, for lack of a better way to put it, we protect it technically, where people get in positions and instead of being encouraging open and honest communication, somehow we've created this rotten culture in Victoria, in Victorian government, where people are too scared to go, oh yeah, I may have got this wrong. They're all about protecting jobs. They're all about going, no, I didn't get that wrong. No, we've got to do this because Odyssey House, those Christian, like those people there, they said that the best way we can do this is, it's nonsense. And then they all go about justifying their positions. They scramble to try and justify it. There's nothing to scramble and justify. The data is in. You've just set the worst crime stats on record. You've just got $12 billion. Overdoses are at record levels. It's just, that's it. You got it wrong. All you experts in the higher offices, you want to come together as professional, decent adults, own your errors and improve it, because what we're doing is clearly not working. Rant over. Oh.